Wait for the icon. All right. Happy Friday, everybody, and greetings from the Office of Community Engagement, and welcome to Community Chats for Friday, April 24th. I'm Anthony Siracusa, Director of Community Engagement at the University of Mississippi, and I'm here with my distinguished colleagues, Jody Holland from Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow and Aaron Peiser Oath. And this is a regular series of conversations that we started on this past Wednesday with individuals in the Lafayette Oxford University community who are working hard and have been working hard for years to make a positive difference in our region. Community Chats comes to you live on Facebook every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from about 12 noon until 12:30. And our goal is to elevate the voices of community leaders from our region and allow them to tell their stories. Who are they? How did they come to be involved in the important work that they do in our region? What is that important work? And what are their visions for the future? Would you like to be interviewed on the show, or do you know someone we should interview on the show? Please get in touch with us. You can send us a message directly through Facebook, or you can contact us through email at engaged@olemiss.edu. Community Chats is an initiative of our office, the Office of Community Engagement, in partnership with our friends at LOFT, the Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow. And you can learn more about LOFT in the first episode of this series, which is on our Facebook page and our blog, which you can find at diversity.olemiss.edu. Today, we have the honor and privilege of being joined by Oxford Community Market Manager, Betsy Chapman, who is entering her 4th season with the market. Before joining the Oxford Community Market, Betsy worked at Yakna Bottoms Farm and brings a wealth of experience in the areas of community markets and food access. Betsy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Absolutely. Well, let's get started just by having you talk a little bit about where you grew up and how did you end up in the Oxford Lafayette University community?
Well, this is a long story. I have been in Oxford since 2005. I moved here when my daughter was 5 because I thought it would be a great place for her to grow up. And I moved around a lot when I was growing up. So it was very, very important for me to settle down in a place that I felt like would provide a really safe, lovely childhood. My family's all from the Mississippi Delta, and we moved to Saudi Arabia when I was 3 and was there for 3 years. I lived in Jackson, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Oklahoma, lower Rio Grande Valley down on the border in Texas and Arizona. So I'm from a little bit of everywhere.
Wow.
Mostly hot places.
That's cool.
Well, you have traveled around Betsy quite a bit. I'm curious, in the past, I've worked a lot with you and also been a great supporter of the market. How did you get in this position, the current position? How did you get there? Tell us how that story.
Really largely by accident and following my interests. I started getting really interested in, well, first of all, gardening for fun and just enjoyment and stress relief. I just, it was a hobby. And then I started thinking more seriously about food and where it comes from and how it gets to me and all of the things involved with that, all the steps it takes for food to get from wherever it's coming from to my table. And so I got really interested in local food systems and had always appreciated food and culture and how food connects people and the stories it tells about different communities. So just following my interest, I decided I wanted to work on a farm. I felt like that was the best way for me to learn how food gets to us. And a job came open at Yakna Bottoms Farm. They needed I had a title, it was marketing and communications director. But most often I was in the field doing farm work. I did do their marketing and communications because my background lent itself to that. And, but I was working in the field, harvesting, processing, packaging, transporting food to market, running the market booths, managing CSA. So I sort of got to learn all about local food systems and farming from the ground up. And then I had been a vendor at Oxford Community Market while I was with the farm. And the director position came open, and it sort of combined a lot of my interests, skills, and previous work experience into one perfect dream job for me, really.
That's great.
Wow. I love hearing more of your story, Betsy. Even after talking with you previously, it's just fun to get to know the personal side as well. So can you just tell us a little more about the market? What do you do? What's your mission? What are the different aspects of what you do?
Sure. So I was hired by the city of Oxford in 2014 to run Oxford City Market. In 2016, we became an independent nonprofit organization, and we had a little name change. We're now Oxford Community Market. My job is obviously the day-to-day operations to have a weekly farmers market, which is pretty, can be a pretty large event. But also I'm running a nonprofit organization that runs a farmers market and various programs to support people in our community who experience food insecurity. We can go into a little detail about those later on, but I love this job because I get to do something different every single day. I'm doing grant writing, I'm doing fundraising events, I'm doing event planning and coordination, I'm doing outreach, I'm doing social media communication, I'm telling the story of the market and the farmers and why it's important to support them and what they really provide for our community. So I just get to do a lot of different things, and also like boring stuff like bookkeeping and stuff like that too, and all the administrative tasks. But I get to manage volunteers, and that has provided me a way to meet so many kids at the university, community members. There's so many people participating in putting this event together every week. So it's just an extremely rewarding job. I also have a lot of friends I might not have known through some of our outreach programs to help people get access to this kind of food that we think everybody deserves. So extremely rewarding and not boring.
Wow. You talk, obviously, it's cool that you have so many areas where you can engage your interests. And it sounds like it's a multifaceted operation, many elements that you have to keep up with. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the team that it takes to do that, kind of the various ways in which volunteers contribute and some of the ways in which they make this possible?
Yeah, it really does take a village to put this market on each week, because there's so many things involved and there's no way that one person can do all of them. That's an important lesson for me to learn. You can't, we can do so much more when we give everybody an opportunity to participate and shine. So right now our operations are streamlined. We don't have all the activities that we usually have going on, like cooking demonstrations and tastings and live music every week, kids activities, various educational activities going on. We're just simply doing it's like a grocery store, in and out shopping. But to put all those things together every week takes a crew. And we've been really lucky to have a lot of students from the university do service learning hours with us. Community members step up and help run our weekly fresh food drive for the pantry. And during this particular time, it's been challenging because we don't want to put out a huge call for volunteers to come to the market at this time when there's safety risks involved. But we've still had, a few volunteers who are helping out. In particular, I have to give a shout out to my daughter, because she's basically stepped up as my assistant to help me figure out and manage this market through challenges we've never had to face before in terms of keeping everybody at the market safe. So she's been instrumental.
Yeah. Basically, it's interesting you talk about the people you need and the programs that you work with. You've mentioned them in brief, but tell us a little more detail about those programs. What do they do besides the market, outside the market?
Sure. So from the very beginning, when this market was founded, we were very intentional about addressing food insecurity in our community, identifying barriers that people have to access good food, The big ones are there's economic barriers. It costs money to eat healthy food. There's transportation barriers and also consumer education barriers, so that, you know, we can communicate the value of eating fresh, healthy, local food and let people know that it's available. So we have a few different ways that we have worked on to address this. So the first thing is the market was set up as a SNAP retailer so that market-wide shoppers could use their SNAP benefits to purchase, you know, fruits, veggies, bread, eggs, meat, honey, all the stuff. The second step to that component was to raise funds to provide a dollar for dollar match for SNAP shoppers so that they got more for their money. There was an incentive for them to shop for fresh food at the market. We have also been a longtime participant in the WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Voucher Program, and we have a similar program for seniors. So that provides WIC recipients and senior citizens in Lafayette County with a book of vouchers or checks that they can use to shop for stuff at the market. Then we added a weekly fresh food drive. We had been collecting extra produce from the farmers at the end of the market, but then we had customers who wanted to help out. So they started buying extra few tomatoes, a loaf of bread, some eggs, and putting it in the basket. And we're able to send more food to the pantry. And they're also supporting the farmers when they do that. So twofold benefit there. And then we developed a new program called Market Fresh gift cards. So we saw a need in our community. There are people who qualify for SNAP and we were able to serve them. But then there are people just above the eligibility requirements who are still prone to food insecurity. And yet they didn't qualify for SNAP benefits. So we wanted to broaden our impact. So we developed a gift card program where we could give out packets of gift cards to families in need, and then they could use them to shop at the market to choose what foods they know their families will enjoy. Great program because people are getting food. The farmers are benefiting from the gift cards being spent at the market. And then people get to choose what they want. So you're eliminating the possibility of food waste. You're also empowering shoppers to participate in the local foods economy and to feel like welcome and valued customers.
Wow, fantastic. Sounds like you've been a little busy.
A little bit.
And meeting some very real needs.
Like I can always make up some project for myself to do if I'm right. So.
But I love that. I love your commitment to addressing access as well.
And it's really important to me that it be done in a way that is empowering and dignified. Mm-hmm. I don't like to think of it as charity, but how can we make it possible for people to participate in whichever way works best for them and their families? So, you know, $1 is $1, and we respect every customer who shops at the market.
Fantastic. So can you speak a little bit to some of the greatest challenges that you've experienced as a director of a nonprofit while serving the community, either in this current moment or just in your day-to-day work in normal times? What has that been like?
I can speak to that. I think, you know, there's always some insecurity when you work for a nonprofit, especially in my case, basically a new nonprofit that's just a few years old as an independent organization. Kind of used to dealing with that, and the trade-offs are I love what I do. The current situation has provided all kinds of rethinking of how we do things. And, you know, for me, I felt a great responsibility to keep the market going for the farmers who have already invested in the food that is in the ground and ready to be harvested. But only if I felt like we could do it safely and responsibly. And the market is just by nature a chaotic situation. And that's what's great about it. It's a traditional public marketplace where, you know, it's open air, consumers our shoppers are there and excited and buying directly from the farmers. And it's just, I mean, it's just a rollicking, fun place. We had to try to figure out how to curtail that, eliminate music and special activities, just make it about getting in quickly and shopping, and making sure that we could control the crowds and manage them, get people in quickly and out quickly, ask people to conform to rules they're not used to conforming to. And so I have been, that's probably been the biggest, the hardest thing for me is, feeling confident that we can do that.
Yeah. Seems like everybody's going through so many adjustments now, but especially our grocery stores where people still have to go, or our marketplaces to get their food, to have their sustenance. And it sounds like y'all have been pivoting in some effective ways. What are some of the most rewarding elements of this work for you, Betsy? Just, in terms of the general scope of it, or even in these moments as you're thinking about these unique challenges that you're rising up to?
It boils down to the relationships that I have with the vendors and the customers. Like, I really love them like family, and they've been there for me through some really hard times, just as, like family would be. So I feel very, I love them. They're important to me. Their businesses are important to me. The customers that we serve are important to me. A lot of them I've known for years, and they're helping support my livelihood, and I really am so grateful for that. And also some very special customers who I've met through our outreach work are, people that my daughter and I go by and drop stuff off to and check on. And so really the relationships are the most rewarding thing.
That's awesome. And speaking of relationships, like I told you, Betsy Smith from McDonald's provided you guys with some gift cards. I'll send them over to you. And I know they're, right across the street from the market. So they're a great supporter of Loft and great supporter.
Yeah, they've supported us the last couple of years with their Met Cafe for a Cause. So we really appreciate that. And those gift cards will go straight to my grandmother, who loves McDonald's sausage biscuits and coffee.
That's awesome. Well, the second thing I want to look at, I have an opportunity to teach a food policy class in the honors college, and I had a student email me 2 days ago, said that he's just got the food policy and food market bug, and he said, how can I get involved? So, I really want to ask that question. What's the best way to answer that from a local perspective? How can the community contribute to your organization?
Sure. We've been really fortunate over the last few years to have a lot of students doing their service learning at the market from a variety of degree programs. So we have had students doing community nutrition work, doing cooking demonstrations, helping run our outreach programs, just helping with heavy lifting. There are so many ways traditionally when we're in full swing to get involved. And I love tailoring opportunities to people's interests or what they're studying, and, try to guide them toward creating an opportunity for themselves within what the market is already doing. So I'm pretty much open to all kinds of ideas. Usually we have special events every week and regular educational activities at the market. So there are so many ways for students to get involved, or just people from the community who just want to have something to do that's meaningful to them. Right now, it's a little different. I'm trying to keep the number of volunteers to a minimum at this time. Sometimes we've had up to 10 students there helping with various tasks. Not really comfortable with that at this time, but we're going to get back to that point at some time. In the meantime, if people were interested in getting involved, I would just suggest that they give me a call, 662-816-7413, and we can talk about ways to get involved, maybe on just a smaller scale right now. But we still need help with running our fresh food drive for the pantry every week. We get a lot more donations when we have someone stationed at that table talking to customers as they come in. And we need help with, in the middle of all this, decided to start an online farmers market, which has just taken off and resulted in crazy amount of sales, which is great for our farmers. harder when you have a staff of really one person. So we do need some help with packaging all those orders on Tuesdays if there are people who are comfortable being out at the market. Otherwise, just sharing our posts, sharing information about the market is, sounds like a small thing, but it actually helps a lot with bringing more awareness to the market that we're still open. You can order online, you can still come and shop in person. All those things are really helpful. We also have, we're doing a fundraiser right now, a small online fundraiser for our outreach work, specifically raising money for the Market Fresh gift cards because we know there's an increased need right now. So we want to have plenty of those gift cards to give out as the need gets even greater.
Oh, fantastic. And maybe as a follow-up to that, so if you have 1 minute, so you can share any message that you want with people in the LOU community in this season. So what message would you like to leave them with today?
I think, through all this, we're really going to see how lucky we are in Oxford. We have so many nice things and resources, and we have those things because we have invested in them. We have said, we value these things. We want parks, we want recreation centers, we want libraries. And I hope to add to that list, we want farmers markets, and we want them to be successful, and we want to invest in them with our time and our financial support. And we want to shop at them every week because we know that spending just $10 a week at a farmer's market goes such a long way in supporting our farmers. So if we want nice things, we gotta create them, and we have to invest in them. So we ask that everyone, consider coming by and just getting some tomatoes. It's a big deal when you're a little farmer.
Betsy, where can folks go to check out the online farmers market? What's your web address?
So our website is www.oxfordcommunitymarket.com, and they'll go to Farmers Market to Go. And ordering starts at noon on Thursdays. And I'll tell you, our spring produce boxes have sold out in less than 24 hours every single week. In addition to the produce boxes, we also have eggs, bread, baked goods, jam, jelly, honey. And then this week we did some special things. We did a grass-fed burger kits that include local beef, homemade buns, lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickle. Next week, we're going to try a breakfast for dinner kit with eggs, bread, strawberries, and local honey. So I'm having a little bit of fun with getting creative with the online market, and I think people like it. So we really appreciate the support.
That is so neat. What a delicious way to help the community during this time of need.
Yes.
And such an innovative approach on y'all's part. This has just been an absolute pleasure. I have learned so much in this conversation, and I'm so grateful to you for doing this important work, supporting our local farmers, continuing to provide ways for folks in the Lafayette Oxford University community to support the farmers market, being resilient. It's really inspirational. So I want to thank you, Betsy, for being on our community chats episode today. It's delightful. And to all of our listeners and viewers out there, please go ahead and follow the Oxford Community Market page on Facebook. Go and check out their online offerings. Right now, we'll be sure to put a link in the comments box underneath this video so y'all can go and easily access that. Remember, we'll be back on Monday at 12 noon, and we'll be talking with Alonzo Hilliard from Interfaith Compassion Ministry. So join us then on Monday at noon, and we really look forward to hearing from Mr. Hilliard and all the important things they're doing right now to provide emergency relief services to citizens in the LOU community. In the meantime, please comment on this video, share it out. We would love for you all to share with your networks this incredible conversation that we had with Betsy. And so stay tuned, tune in on Monday, and stay engaged with your community. Betsy, thank you so much for being with us today, and we look forward to, it's been great. Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.